welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. I think I forgot to send Jason the link. Let me do that right now. Happy Monday. I got to be retrained. I'm back from my trip to Texas and Texas Coin, and I will just say I want to get too deep into it today. We'll cover it Wednesday, guys. This thing, wait till you see. That's all I'm going to say. I was pretty convinced before. Now Texas Coin's not going anywhere. A matter of fact, I've seen it firsthand. I have all kinds of pictures of equipment that's getting ready to go in. Businesses that are getting ready to go in, lines, towns lining up. They're just waiting for us, and it's almost there. It's almost ready. I know it sucks. Joe, it's 87 cents today. Whoa. Hey, guys, one seat, $9.95, at this terrible price, and it's terrible, 87 cents. Means that you're getting I forget what the math was, 34 cents a day. You know, gosh, how terrible. That's terrible. If you actually did the math, and it's bad. It's a 13% return on your money. I know. It's interesting when you look, wait a minute. No, I feel like I'm losing money. No, guys, no. 34 cents times 365 days, it's $124. You put $9.95 in, right? You're at 12.5%. And I think it's actually 35 cents, but either way, you see what I'm saying. And if you have the opportunity to buy more Texas, I would. If you haven't become a miner yet, I would highly suggest you do so at 800-951-0592. But I want to save a lot for Wednesday. Tune in. We will get to all of your issues. Happy MLK Day, by the way. So a lot of places are closed. Wall Street is closed today, but you know what's not closed? Yeah, the Wall bond market. 423 as the United States. Well, like as always, we've got to sell so much debt. $654 billion worth of treasuries, $138 billion of new 10-year notes. That replaced the $66 billion of 10-year notes that was maturing. I mean, now you're sitting there and you're thinking about, wait a minute. We had to roll over $66 billion, but we ended up needing to sell $138 billion. So we more than double. I mean, yeah, we had to roll over 68, but that just means we had to sell another 70 on top of it. Wow. That is how big things are getting. We're almost, think about this. How soon? We're going to be selling $1 trillion a week plus. Probably is what is coming. By the way, the schedule of new notes, another $153 billion of new bonds just last week, driving interest rates higher despite all the rate cuts. And then, of course, we got to talk about it, right? I really thought that we were kind of kidding about Greenland, and I don't know, maybe we're not really kidding about Canada either. I don't know. But apparently we need to own Greenland. No ifs or buts about it. The president saying that NATO needs to support us. Obviously, that did not happen. Starting February 1st, 10%, additional 10% tariffs will go into effect on Denmark. I don't know what we get from Denmark. Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, and Finland. And the president said at June 1st, it will increase to 25%. All of these countries are NATO members now, some of them recently. The tariff will be due payable until such a time as that a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. We need this. The United States needs Greenland for national security. We have subsidized Denmark and all of the countries of the European Union and others for many years by not charging them tariffs or any forms of, them, giving us something for what we gave them, according to the president. This has been a one-way street. Now, after centuries, it is time for Denmark to give back. World peace is at stake. So in case you were wondering, I didn't know, but world peace is at stake. And maybe it is. I don't know. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. Happy MLK. A quick look at the markets. Obviously, Wall Street is closed. I told you what happened in the bond market. Gold and silver roaring again. Gold right now up $76, $4,675. Listen, guys, here's the deal. Okay? Are you listening? We have the winners. Period. I can't tell you that I know exactly why all of this is happening. Why did we give some guy that was in ISIS Syria? I don't know. Why did we want a Russian-Ukraine war? Make no mistake about it. We made a war happen. Why? I don't know. Why did we take out Maduro in Venezuela? Of course, remember now, we arrested him because he's brought up on charges, right, in New York. But then we left the other people that were also brought up on charges. They also all have bounties on their heads. And say, well, you guys can run Venezuela. I don't know. I don't. Right? Why do we need Greenland? I mean, to the point where now we I understand. Listen, yes, have we upset the Chinese and the Russians? Have we upset South America and Central America and all these Africa? Yes, and they created BRICS, but, we still got our buddies. Well, boy, they're mad. They're mad. They're talking about the nuclear option. Yeah. Hello? We own a lot of U.S. treasuries as well. Maybe it's time we did something else. But like I said, gold, $46.75. I've got 20 $10 gold pieces. Well, Jason, he tried to help you. Well, now I'm here. Guess what? I'm going to tell you right now. First one to the phone wins. But they're not $2,300. $2,350 for these $10 gold pieces. That is like, I don't know, $10, $12 over spot. Okay? Get your backside to the phone. Why? Because gold's going to be $10,000 very soon. Why? I don't know exactly. Okay, I know we're going to spend $1 bajillion. I know that we got debt auctions that are getting to be ridiculous size. To the point where we've got to sell more new debt than debt we're rolling over. It's insanity. Silver up $3.71. 93.75. Let me tell you what's happened today, because I was gone. But this morning, 2026 Silver Eagles are out of stock. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. Something happened over the weekend when it came to Silver Eagles, the U.S. Mint. Did you see what happened to the U.S. Mint?
No.
Oh. Well, Joe was very busy. Just so the audience knows, he was in Texas, doing some important work. The U.S. Mint, I think it was Saturday evening, I think it was Saturday. They just made all the Silver Eagles on their website went to $170. Overnight price. They just doubled the price of Silver Eagles, which to me means the silver that they're buying has gotten very expensive all at once. And I think they were selling them for $90 to $110 or $115. They moved it right to $169, $173, depending on what year they still have available. They're all out. They're not selling anything silver on the website right now, but they moved the price, Joe, in one single day. Boom, $170 for a single Silver Eagle coin. It happened this weekend, Joe. You can just look. You can go to the U.S. Mint. You can go right to the website and click on Silver Eagles. You'll see it right there, plain as day. And they're not explaining what's going on. They're not talking about it.
Here's what I have. First people to the phone win. I have two, and I literally have them. They're sitting in my vault. 2 cases, sealed. They are 2024s. They haven't seen the light of day yet. They're still sealed. I haven't broken the seal on them. They're $2,125. That would be $60 off the regular price. I can't even tell you what a case of Silver Eagles would cost me because I can't buy them. But if I used Friday, okay, just to give you guys an example, cost would be $98.50. Okay? I don't know what cost is now because they said I can't get any. So at $21.25, you're looking at $106.25. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. No, that's what rounds now cost, right? Matter of fact, I think rounds are more than that. I'll have to look. But essentially, the feeling that I have is you're probably not going to see, and I don't know, obviously, and anything could happen. Dude, this may be cost. You may be getting Silver Eagles at cost today. I don't know, Jason. It's something where all of a sudden, and we knew this was coming. I warned you guys this was coming, and here we are. And when we look at the silver price, I know you're like, but gosh, that sounds so expensive. It's not. It's not. And this is easy math. This is just supply and demand. And silver is unique. In a lot of the demand, you can't replace it with something else. There is no other that will do what silver can do, especially in the industries. The only thing that's really working right now, what is really working in the global economy right now? Data centers. That's it. AI and data centers. That's the only thing really working. And guess what you got to have for that? Oh, yeah. Silver, Jason. Crazy. People, I would not be surprised. And I know, Jason, technically we had silver go up $8 in a day.
Yep.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. The silver that is out there is disappearing. Now, I don't know. I think Donald Trump has been a pretty straight shooter. Means what he says. He's saying that we need Greenland for world peace. It's time for Denmark to give it up after owning it for centuries. Oh, apparently, Russia and China want Greenland. I don't know, I guess. According to the president, Greenland has a total of 2 dog sleds as protection. And by the way, they just added one of those recently. Only the United States of America under President Donald J. Trump can play in this game, and very successfully at that. Nobody will touch this sacred piece of land, especially since the national security of the United States and the world at large is at stake. NATO is playing a very dangerous game. These countries that are playing this very dangerous game have put a level of risk into play that is not tenable or sustainable. Well, people at the people at Greenland apparently don't feel the same. They kind of went reverse MAGA and had Make America Go Away in red hats.
I think I know what's going on there, Joe. Greenland has tremendous regulations on their natural resources. And I don't think Europe or Denmark or Greenland is willing to relax that. And so what it is you can't tap the resources at full scale until you drop that stuff. So I don't know if it's so much that America needs to have Greenland so much as they need to clear those regulations out to start competing for these resources, Joe. That's what I'm seeing with Greenland, and that's why it's so important. Is, as you said, silver, oil, gold, uranium. I forget that. I mean, Greenland seems to have all of it there, and it's melting off, and it's becoming accessible, and we're going to see a lot more there. I mean, the tariffs on the European Union now, right? Because, well, if you're not going to let me have it, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it somewhere. So we'll see, Joe. We'll see.
Well, yesterday, France wants to use, and this has always been, I guess, the European trump card, right? They obviously they know. Gosh, we don't stand a chance militarily, right? And we have, NATO kind of made us feel good that we were, at least partners in some way. But they do have one trick, I guess, that they could play. And that is the selling and or the non-renewal of U.S. Treasuries. Macron in France yesterday is encouraging the European, I guess, alliance to invoke just that. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. And I guess I'll say it as best I can, as simple as I can. This is a huge opportunity today in both gold and silver that is, I don't know, unparalleled. I don't know what word to use. $20 gold pieces at 23 and a quarter, which is essentially buying them at spot. And then the rolls of silver at 21.25, which is $60 below where all of us are around the same price. You know, when you go out there and you look around, either if you can get them.
Yeah, if you can get it, there's availability.
If you can get them. 108, 109, 110, right? I've got some, and they're going to be spectacular. They haven't ever come out of the case at $106.25. At the same day, the U.S. Mint said, hey, by the way, you can't order any 2026s. What does that mean? Well, if you can't order 2026s, if you don't have any backdate Silver Eagles, guess what? You don't have any silver at all. I don't know for how long. This could be something we could be out for a while. Heck, it could be back tomorrow. My guess is we're going to be out for a while. And I think the price, usually what happens with all of this, they're out and then the price goes to 120, 130, 140. Everybody wants it and nobody has any. Get it and do it now. Run to your phone, 800-951-0592. Now listen, for those of you out there, and you're out there, I get it, right? Yeah. These guys, we've been giving them these sweetheart deals. They don't pay their fair share. And good for Donald Trump, right? For making, Okay, let me tell you, listen, that's all true, okay? But see, you're missing one part of this. And see, before I was doing this for a living, you know, whatever Fox said is what I believed. And I don't even know what Fox is saying. I haven't even turned the TV on, honestly. Here was the arrangement that we had with the world. We'll give you sweetheart deals. You buy our debt. That was the deal. Make no mistakes about it. Yes, could we have charged tariffs? What was free trade really about? Well, number one, companies wanted to leave America and go to places like communist China where they actually had less rules. Go figure. We can pay them crappy. We can work them to the death, right? All this stuff you used to do in America, they can do it over there. But the other part, the banks wanted their pound of flesh, right? They wanted to get in. But Jason, it was you buy our debt. That's the deal. And everybody that wasn't, I guess, the G7 had stopped doing it. And now Donald Trump just went and basically going after the G7. I mean, you've got a number of how much debt these guys of ours they have.
Well, the number I have is a little different, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I think what we're seeing is how they're trying to redetermine where treasuries need to go because they have to keep selling them. So I think what's happening is they're trying to figure out how do we just sell the same amount without needing all these foreign nations to have to own it? Because we got the cryptos. I mean, look at Tether, top 10 player now, right? But the number I have is actually for what's going to happen in 2026. You've been hearing me, Joe, say there's this big sugar high getting ready to hit, and we're going to have record prices on all assets. Well, now I got a number. It's $4.7 trillion is being injected into the American economy starting late February for 9 months. It's coming in 3 phases. They're getting tax returns out. So instead of a Bush or Trump, where they send the check to you, stimulus is the tax returns. $1.2 trillion starting late February. They're going to start getting tax return checks out way earlier this year. So $1.2 trillion to start in late February going into April and May. Then there's another $2.4 trillion coming into the country because some regulations have been lifted for companies to bring in cash from overseas unmolested. That'll probably go into stock buybacks and all kinds of beefing up, these big companies in America where they need help in dollars without having to buy treasuries or have to pay fees or taxes or anything. And then at the end, closer to the end of the year, there's going to be another $1.2 trillion going into industry. This is going to be subsidies for copper mining and for, big industrial companies. And all of this is being fed into this country. Most of this stuff was all passed last year. Just because they passed the big, beautiful bill last year, that didn't mean the money started. The money starts late February, and this is $4.7 trillion. We are going to have everything go up in price. And then when the inflation starts to hit later this year or beginning of 2027 and gets really bad, we're going to start to see rates being hiked by whoever the new Fed chief that Trump picks. They're going to have to raise rates in 2027. So they're going to pump those rates down now, Joe. Big party, buy as many assets as you can get your hands on. That's the only thing you can do before an inflationary hit happens. And the only way to really slow that inflation, Joe, is war. That's the only other way. There's going to be something's going to be blowing up by 2027, bigger than what we've seen. So it's here, Joe. I mean, gold and silver, in my mind, won't stop this year. I don't see how it will stop this year. I see the stock market up, crypto's up. I even see housing prices going up. It's just too much money, Joe. What kind of inflation are we going to see at the end of 2026 and 2027? This spending package is twice the size of the 08 buy a save the bank. Twice as big, Joe.
Well, there's a lot more debt today than there was then, isn't there? Patriot Radio News Hour will be back. 800-951-0592. The Silver Express, $94 and rising. We're basically entering where Silver Eagles just cost alone is going to be $100+ if you can get them. I had 50 rolls. I still got 2 lines open. 21 1/4. Get them while you can. I have some of the $10 gold pieces. I shouldn't.
Yep.
I shouldn't at $23.50. And I know some of you, listen, silver's heavy. I'm older. If you want to trade some of that silver for $10 liberties, great opportunity to do that as well, right? Trade some silver for some Texit coin. Trade it for some seats on the Texit program that we're running. We can help you do that as well. And Jason just talked to you about.
Yeah.
This is an avalanche of money that's coming.
Let's look at really quick at recent history. When I came on board with Joe in 2018, 2019, we were selling $20 lives for $1,250, $1,300, $1,350. Okay. Then came COVID, the big overly blown emergency that shouldn't have been. And then what happened? We had $2,000 gold in August of 2020. This is leading indication of inflation because we had the huge packages. Oh, it's an emergency. Spend. Tons of, multiple packages of spending, doubled the money supply. And then in 2021, 2022, then the inflation hit. Gold leveled off at 2,000, but it already has the leading indicator. The biggest players in the world started loading up even more. Then gold kind of stayed in that 1,800 to 2,000 for a couple of years after the inflation was in. We rose the rates, right? Gold kind of hung out there. Gold did great, by the way, when the rates went up because it kind of held court. I mean, gold really should have came down some. All that buying kept gold up, you guys. So here we are. Here we are, Joe, right? Gold and silver has been going up the last year, right? Leading indicator. It's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. And then when the inflation hits, gold and silver might level off again. Maybe it goes down a little bit. But it's going to go up tremendously because this spending package is coming into place, and everyone, with huge deep pockets, is getting heavy into gold and silver. It is not too late, but I'll say this, Joe. You might want to get into tax return season's coming. There's $1.2 trillion. And we already talked about, right, Joe, Costco selling 2.4 trillion ounces of silver in 72 hours. Where do you think a lot of people's tax return money is going? Yeah, they'll pay off some debt. They'll buy a vacation. You better believe they're going to put a lot of this into savings, and gold and silver is just going to take off with this kind of buying that's going to happen, Joe. What do you think is going to happen next month? Next month in March, the kind of gold and silver movement that we're going to see, it's just getting started. And we're going to hit $100 silver here pretty soon. What do you think the rest of the world's going to look at when they see $100 silver?
I don't know what is going to happen with this whole Greenland thing. We were already struggling selling the debt as it was. It's hard for me to see the EU bending the knee here. It is. I mean, we're talking about, hey, you're going to just give us this country whether you want it or not, and whether the country of Greenland wants it or not. I mean, that's what we're saying.
I speculated on that over the 2 days you were gone, Joe. I think I know what the EU is. I think the EU is going to give it up. I think this is a negotiation. How much of what you're going to do we get? I think that's the negotiation that's happening that we're not going to see in the news. Okay, America, this is the direction, and this is what's necessary for dollars. I'm thinking the EU, Joe, is just trying to negotiate what their piece is going to be for the takeover, right? They got to act like they really...
You're talking about a William Wallace. Don't flee yet. We haven't finished negotiating.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. And what happened when William Wallace got shot up and almost killed near the end of the movie? Right? It's the Lords. The Lords walked out on the next battle. Remember that? Remember the Lords walking out? Well, William Wallace is Greenland, and the Lords are getting ready to walk out on him as soon as they negotiate their bigger peace. With the King of America. That's what we're looking at, right? They got to open up those regulations. I mean, really, what this whole desperation for Greenland is screaming of too little, too late to me. Because even if America gets their hands on it, yeah, long-term future, this may be good for these assets, but it's too little, too late. I mean, I guess it's better to start this in motion to try to save America's finances a little bit in the future. But yeah, Joe, that's what this is all about. This is about the future world we're living in, and it's happening. And I think EU is going to give up really easily. It's going to be what percent do you get, England? What percent does Finland get? What percent does Denmark get? And America gets the rest, and they get to stomp around and put a military base there.
Boy, I don't know. I wish I was as confident as you are about that. And what's the cost? And how are we going to pay for all of these things? I just... Again, I get the president's not wrong. We gave these countries stupid, dumb deals. In exchange, they were buying our debt. I mean, And I guess maybe now, since, hey, you're not buying enough of it, this is what's going to happen, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. We'll be back. Final segment. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up. What is it? Monday. I had to think. What day is it? Monday. Wrapping up this Monday. If you want to take advantage of the gold today, you better hurry. We're almost out. $10 liberties, 2,350. And then the rolls of silver eagles. We only had 50 rolls. I had 2 cases sealed. 2024. The box has never been open. They're 21, 25. And I haven't been able to find anybody that'll sell you a roll of silver eagles for 21.25 anywhere. And now the mint essentially is out. When are they going to be back in? I don't know. 800-951-0592. And, we'll wait. I hope Jason's right. Let's hope this is just some form of negotiation of some sort for whatever it is we're allegedly negotiating for.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Because, yeah, let's hope you're right.
I think a negotiation was put on the table, and the Eurozone decided we want more, and then Trump went tariffs. I mean, this is how it's handled, and I find it funny how Greenland doesn't seem to have a voice in the matter.
No one even mentions Greenland. But Denmark, you got to give it up. Greenland's like, what about us, right?
Why do I get the feeling the new commander-in-chief in Greenland's going to be Maduro? He knows how to handle these little outposts that we don't like. We'll put him in there.
Maybe they'll put all the files they truly want nobody to ever find. Right? The Epstein files, the Kennedy file, right? All that. We're going to release somewhere into Greenland.
We're going to release all of the information in our new top secret base in Greenland. And then they change the weather over Greenland. It gets completely buried in snow. It's like, well, when it melts off, we'll get to it soon enough.
Yes, we'll get to it a little later. Not right now. Right? When will you release it? As soon as Greenland isn't frozen, we'll tell you what happened. It was for national security.
That sounds plausible to me.
That should be outrageous, right? I mean,
it sounds like you're giving the CIA some ideas. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're in the think tank for the CIA. Okay, we need some ideas. Where can we bury this information?
Now it's really buried.
Right.
Oh man, 800-951-0592. If you want to trade silver for gold, silver for Texan, if you want to just buy silver, buy gold, 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right?